Finding the square root of 54,000 by inching upward took 23 million guesses and 20 seconds. The exact same answer found by bisection search takes 30 guesses and under a second. Same problem, same answer, a different way of guessing. Let's apply bisection search to our recurring problem. Finding the square root of a number still as an approximation, not the exact value. To find the square root of x, the answer lies somewhere between 0 and x. The approximation method started at 0 and inched upward little by little. Bisection search instead jumps straight to the halfway point and makes that its first guess. Because we're working with numbers, the ordering is obvious. At that halfway guess, we ask one question. What is the guess squared? If the guess squared is too big, bigger than x, then the guess itself is too big, and no answer above it can be correct. So we throw away the upper half. The low point stays the same, but the high point becomes this guess. Notice what we now have. A smaller interval with a low and a high, the exact same kind of problem we started with. Suppose instead the new guess squared comes out less than x. Then nothing below this guess could be closer to the answer, so we discard the lower half. Either way, at every stage the number of values left to search is half of what it was before. Bisection search needs two properties, and you can only use it when you have both. First, there must be an ordering to whatever you're searching. Last names run alphabetically, or you have a range of numeric values. Second, you must get feedback that tells you whether your guess was too low, too high, or right. Watch what happens when one property is missing. You're guessing a 4-digit PIN on a phone, and the only feedback is correct or not. Can bisection search crack it quickly? No? The feedback only says correct or wrong. It never tells you whether your guess was too high or too low. Without that direction, you can't decide which half to throw away. In the worst case, you'd still have to try every combination, so you might as well count up one at a time, from 0000 to 0001 to 0002, and on outward. The second property, directional feedback, is exactly what's missing. Now an extreme case. A friend picks a real number from 0 to 10 to any precision, and you must guess it exactly. This time, the feedback does tell you too low, too high, or correct, so direction is there. Can bisection nail it? The trouble is the word exactly. If you only needed 2 decimal places, then yes, bisection will converge. But if your friend picks pi, a number whose digits never end, bisection halves the interval forever and never lands on it. It becomes an algorithm that never terminates. Let's write the code. First, we set things up. We use the same troublesome value x. We still want our answer within plus or minus epsilon, because comparing floats directly is unreliable. We use a counter to track how many guesses we make, just like counting how many guesses it took to find the money hidden in the book. And the while loop here is identical to the approximation method. While the absolute value of guess squared minus x is greater than or equal to epsilon, keep guessing. Whether it's greater than or equal to is just a detail. What changes is only how the next guess is made. Unlike the approximation method, we're not incrementing anything, so we have to set up the search before the loop. Bisection needs its 2 endpoints. The low point is 0 since the square root of x can't be negative. The high point we set to x. We could use 2x or 3x, but that's needlessly large. Algebra tells us the square root won't exceed x itself, so x is a safe high. Then we make our first guess the midpoint, high plus low, divided by 2. That brings us right up to the while loop with low, high, and the first guess all in place. Now the work inside the loop. We have a guess, the midpoint, and we ask whether it's too low or too high using a simple if-else. If the guess squared is less than x, the guess is too low. So we move the low endpoint up to this guess because anything below it is definitely too low. Otherwise, the guess was too high, so we move the high endpoint down to this guess. We don't need an elif since the else covers every remaining case. After that, one final line. The new guess becomes the new midpoint, recomputed from whichever endpoint just changed. That's the whole loop body, just 3 moves. Compare, shift a boundary, recompute the midpoint. Here is the full program. Set x epsilon and the guess counter. Set low to 0 and high to x and make the first guess the midpoint. Then loop. While the guess squared is still farther than epsilon from x, compare, move the low or the high to the guess, and recompute the midpoint. When the loop ends, print the number of guesses and the final guess. There's a little trust required that the loop converges, but step through it in your head or in the Python tutor, and you'll see it lands on the answer. Let's trace it on the square root of 36 with epsilon set to 1 to keep the steps few. Low is 0, high is 36, so the first guess is 18. 18 squared is 324, far above 36, so the guess is too big. High becomes 18. The new midpoint of 0 and 18 is 9. 9 squared is 81, still too big, so high becomes 9. The new midpoint of 0 and 9 is 4.5. 4.5 squared is 20.25, now less than 36, so the guess is too low. Low becomes 4.5. The midpoint of 4.5 and 9 is 6.75. We keep going, and the guess settles at about 6.047, whose square is within 1 of 36. We stop. One more detail, if the very first guess were already correct, the loop condition would be false immediately, and we never even enter the loop. We break out before doing any work, which is exactly the behavior we want. Now run the real thing on 54,321. To recap, the approximation method made 23 million guesses and took about 20 seconds to get the square root, roughly 233. Bisection search returns in under a second. It didn't fail, and it gives nearly the same answer. 233.069, very close to the true square root, and it did it in just 30 guesses. We didn't shave 23 million down to 5 million. We dropped from the order of millions all the way to tens. Why such a gulf? With the approximation method, each guess shaves the search space by a fixed tiny step, 0.0001. With bisection, each guess cuts the search space in half. If you had 400 pages to search, one guess leaves 200, the next leaves 100, the next leaves 50. That halving is everything. Here's where the logarithm comes from. Ask how many guesses until only one item is left, the single answer within epsilon. Start with n items. After k guesses, you've halved k times, so you've divided n by 2 to the power of k. Reaching the single answer means n divided by 2 to the k equals 1. Multiply both sides by 2 to the k, and you get n equals 2 to the k. Solve for k, and k equals log base 2 of n. So the number of loop passes is log of n. That is logarithmic growth, and it's why bisection turns millions into tens. Bisection search beats the approximation method by a staggering margin, but only when both properties hold, and ordering on what you're searching and the feedback that points you higher or lower. Miss either one, and you're back to crawling through values one at a time. Have both, and the logarithmic growth does the rest. To practice what you just learned, this course has free exercises and AI graded feedback on ludium.ai. The link is in the description.